Here's just a follow up on the Dow. Sorry I haven't been able to do this for now, but I've been sick as a dog and travelling all around the place. But yeah, it's a good time to have a look at things. As we've talked about before, we've had our wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we're on our way to a wave 5, which is also the inverted head and shoulders target of around about 1100 and 281 on the daily chart. I've got a little slightly different figure on the weekly chart. Okay, some things to bear in mind all the way along. The green arrows, MA crosses coming up, and we've had another one here at wave 4. Okay, and the other thing to bear in mind are the yellow arrows. We seem to be pretty much sticking with the 30-day moving average, having a little bit of leakage through it, but not a great deal. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer. Now I've refreshed you all that this target is what we're looking at. We're only about 300 odd points away from it, and we sort of picked this back here, okay, at this level here, the neckline. Okay, so we're doing alright, and they usually are pretty true, and they usually do follow through pretty close. The thing to look at here now is, let's zoom in a little bit closer, is this little set of candles here. We've had a top, we've had a high, and then we haven't had a closing high. We've had a few penetrations through, but these two guys here are looking reasonably strong, because that was a gravestone, and that sort of threw me one day there, for the simple reason I looked at it as a single candle and not as a group of candles, and it's just basically making a bottom there. Today being a Monday, even though it's the Monday before Easter, one would sort of be expecting that the Dow would be up on a Monday. It usually is up on a Monday. We've had a good cross here of the 30-day moving average through the 50, and we would like to see these keep on going, otherwise we'll just form a little top here. The other interesting thing that I did note, I'll just zoom out to show you, from wave 2, if we get a fib projection from a wave 2, okay, and slide it all the way up to the end of wave 4, we have a 61.8% top. Okay, sure, that can go higher. The 100%'s up around the 1160, 600 mark. Yeah, so that's just sort of basically interesting to look at. That's why it's probably topped here. It just probably needs to regroup, get some oomph, and break through this. Now, if it breaks through this, it only needs to be up 40 points tonight. It'll make a new closing high, okay, and it'll make it back into that standard error channel there in blue as well. So something else to bear in mind. Okay. You like. Okay, so much for that. Now, the other thing that sort of threw me, whereas this red line was during the week, I had a look at the indicators, and all the indicators were saying off, off. They were all coming off. Okay, but one thing that I did note was the DEMA. Okay, the indicators were still above the DEMA, so they were still bullish here. Now they're below. Okay, so now they're a little bit more on the bearish side, so it's still a bit of a 50-50 tonight. I reckon some people going huge amounts along could get a little bit of a shock, but that's why I sort of picked 40 points up tonight, is where I'm thinking about where it'll probably finish on the daily chart. But when you get this movement above the DEMA, like you did back here, is always bullish. Okay, this is always bearish to sideways, and that is bullish again. But we're underneath. If we have an up tonight, that will go back up, and it will be bullish. bullish again, even though the MACD is coming off. Stochastics are coming off as well. All that's been mainly due to what I'd say is a very strong weekly chart. The weekly chart and the weekly chart indicators, and I'll just pull that up. Have basically been very strong all the way along here. These green lines, red lines, indicates turns in the market as far as the weekly chart goes. Now you'll notice we've got these two candles here. They're not two full top candles, okay? So this is indicating it's getting close towards an end, and the 200-day moving average here on the weekly is something that it's looking at getting at. We've had a nice cross here on the 7 and the 14. Okay, we're still holding our 30-day moving average on the weekly quite easily. Yeah, so I sort of think by looking at things, the MACD on the weekly has just turned up. It could have a long way more to go. It could just turn back here on a divergence. Stochastics has still got a bit more to go. Our weekly DEMA short entry and short exits haven't triggered a sell, but they're looking like they want to get above the DEMA again and go more bullish, so something to look at there. Okay, as far as that part of the chart goes, one thing I'll just skip back to the daily. Our 200-day simple moving average and our 200-day exponential moving averages, these two are providing a push-up, a support. Okay, if these two cross up, this is going to go quite bullish, but I don't know if that's going to happen. When we have a look at our monthly chart, which is right here, again the monthly is very bullish. It's moved across the 30-day moving average, and the 50-day is now going to become the top, but it's also entered into that top portion of this Gann grid. Okay, so what I'd be expecting here, and it's not the end of the month yet, but it's not far away, I'd be expecting this to finish on a full candle. You had a 7-day bounce off the 200 quite nicely. You had the nice cross coming off through the 200. So I wouldn't mind betting that, give it a month or two, this yellow will cross up through the blue. Okay, so I wouldn't be very bearish on the Dow at the moment. Okay, also looking at things here, as far as our MACD goes, like I said before, when it was reaching about this line here, it could even go higher and go up to the 600. Well, I think it's going to do that before it comes off. The ultimate oscillator is already pointing up to tell us that, and the DEMA wants to go more, but the monthly DEMA still has a lot more to go. The stochastics on this, not so much more. And I'll just scoot back again to the daily and just show you a new line I just put here on the daily chart, which is basically a 12-month trend line through here. So if we do go up and do our wave 5 up here, if we do an ABC down, I'd expect this trend to probably stay intact. So we do an A, B, C, and then we go up and on from there. But that's just basically my thoughts on it, and take from that what you can. But I think there's more confidence coming back into the market by the look of this. Okay, thank you.